At 17 years old, I became pregnant with my oldest son. At 17, I had so many goals and aspirations in front of me. I wasn't ready to make a lifelong commitment to the man that fathered my child. When Nate and I decided to call it quits, there was resentment, there was some harsh words said, but ultimately we came to the conclusion that we have this beautiful baby boy that we want the best for. We want good and wholesome values for this boy. And 14 years later, here we are. We do everything together as a family. We have been to each other's weddings. We attend each other's kids' softball and football and baseball games. We have barbecues together. We have birthdays together. We have Mother's Day dinners together. We have Father's Day dinners together. We ensure to support one another. There are so many benefits from having a great and healthy co parenting relationship, not just for the adults, but for the children as well. Some of the fundamentals, I think, is just to always make sure that the children are a priority. They have to come first, they have to be number one in anything that you guys do. Another thing is communication. You have two separate families trying to work as one unit, and you have to communicate what time pickups are, where you're going to be, who this affects. Everything you do affects the other family. Ultimately, the values you're teaching have to be the same. You have to set healthy and realistic boundaries. You can't ultimately be talking on the phone at 10 o'clock at night or, call anybody you want whenever you want. You have to be respectful of the other family and the boundaries that you need to set. You need to show mutual respect for not only your co-parent, but for their spouse. You need to ensure that they understand that you're very appreciative of the care they give your child. You need to not hold grudges. If you have an issue, you need to sit down and communicate about it. You need to speak highly of your co-parent. You need to not degrade them, not make your child feel less worthy, that you feel something bad about their other parent. Those are things you keep to yourself, or you sit down in a nice setting and communicate with your co-parent about that. If you have a healthy relationship, then there are so many benefits. There's emotional stability, there's reduced stress, there's healthy and strong self-confidence. I mean, it's important to have that for your children. It's important for them to see that they can believe in themselves, and mom and dad are going to be there together behind them, believing in them too. It teaches conflict resolution. It teaches effective partnership attributes. It reduces negative behavior in adolescence. They are more apt to communicate with you fully and without feeling judged, or like you're going to take action on their other parent. If there's something that they feel uncomfortable with, they feel open enough to come talk to you. Some of the risks of poor co-parenting is a lot of kids are more apt to substance abuse or low self-esteem, depression, lack of knowing what a healthy relationship looks like. Some of my personal favorites are I never feel alone. I always know that Nate or Jill is there to help me, to back me. I know that when there's been an issue, or there's something that's happened at school, or just everyday life, when you're trying to teach your children, I know that Nate and Jill are going to be there to back my decision, and vice versa. I'm going to be there to back theirs with Gavin. We all get to live our best lives with our children, and that's probably my ultimate favorite one. We don't ever have to stress about, oh, well, I'd like to do this. I don't have to feel like I can't talk to them about switching a schedule, or maybe getting Gavin a little extra time so that I can make sure that he sees my family coming in from out of town. These are all things that we work together, and we ensure that the kids get that they get to have their time with their siblings and their family, and they don't have to stress about if it's going to make the other parent mad or not. One of my favorite quotes is, "The security of the parent about being a parent will eventually become the child's feeling of security about himself." Just think about that for a minute. Your child watches you be confident in the way you're parenting them. That shows them what confidence is like. It shows them how to be confident in themselves. That was by Bruno Bettelheim, and he's a child psychologist, and he has so many good, helpful tips. Some of my notes of advice is, it's going to take hard work. You're going to have to put your pride aside. Some days are easier than others, and I promise you it is going to be just as rewarding as any other celebration you can have. Just strive for complete honesty. Openness and honesty is probably the number one thing for me, is just getting it all out there so that we know what we're dealing with. We know what we have to have on the table, and we can solve it. Remember the qualities that you once loved about your co-parent. That is one of the things that helps me in the hard times. These are the things that I enjoy about Nate. These are the things that I think make him a good man. And even though sometimes it's good to just tell Gavin some of the favorite things I have about his dad. It makes him feel good and proud, and he can take pride in his parents. And remember always that your children is half of them. Because when you degrade that other parent, you're ultimately degrading your child and that part of them that is their other parent. And let me tell you, those smiles, they're worth it.